Today we're going to be talking about Rhode Skin and some of their major allegations for their new launch on their pocket bronzers and highlights, and it might change the way you and other people see the brand moving forward. We'll also be talking about a new influencer brand that has resurfaced the conversation on inclusivity and beauty. The internet had a lot to say about this launch and I want to hear your opinions as well. And then there is Marc Jacobs, who went viral for something completely unexpected, and silly enough, it wasn't for his beauty brand. And I would also love for you guys to stick around until the end to find out last week's hottest product launch. Hi beautiful, and welcome back to the After Critique. I am very excited about this one. If you've been following my beauty critique series for a while, you may have noticed that I've been experimenting and trying to change things up to keep things interesting. And I think I finally landed on something that might work for all of us. So here is the plan. The beauty critiques you know and love will stay the same. In beauty critiques, I will share the newest launches, my honest first impressions, and the usual purchase or pass. But this video right here is going to be the after critique. So think of it like an extension of beauty critiques. I just wanted to be able to come back to the products we talked about previously with the new information and reactions. I know some of y'all thought it was going to be repetitive, but I'm hoping this is kind of like a good in-between, because sometimes when I'm first talking about something, a launch is really fresh and new, and there's really not much to say besides a first impression, but usually the most interesting conversations and topics about a product comes after it's been released. So instead of cramming all of that into one video, I thought that I would just keep this separate and make it its own space. This might not be an every week thing. I only want to do the after critique if there's something more to talk about, and I am personally really excited to see where this goes, so I hope you guys are too. And if you're new here and you haven't watched beauty critiques yet, I highly recommend you starting there. I will link the playlist right around here. So if you've been keeping up with my beauty critiques, you know one of the biggest launches of this summer has been the Rhode pocket bronzers and highlights. Now that the product has been released, I would say that this launch hasn't gone too smoothly, and the brand's response might make you reconsider whether or not you want to buy the product. Following a pretty successful pop-up event in Newport, Rhode Island, videos started surfacing of customers noticing something very strange about their bronzers. Jasmine, a beauty TikToker, caught herself on camera reacting in real time to what looked to be a rim of white fuzzies on her new pocket bronzer. I personally think that it definitely resembles the look of mold, so this would alarm me if I got it in the mail. But the white fuzziness thing sounds very familiar. It's giving me deja vu to Lipstick Gate. And you'd think, like the Jaclyn Hill situation, people would have been in uproar. But honestly, the comments were pretty mixed on this situation. In another TikTok showcasing the white rim, a customer with the same experience did screenshot a response directly from the Rhode team, but what they said and what they didn't say in the comment made things even more unclear. The email replied, "We recommend you immediately discontinue use of the product." I don't know about you, but if customer service told me to discontinue use of a product, that does not sound good. So it doesn't help that they didn't really clarify whether it was mold or something else entirely, because they just said, please stop using it. And while I was waiting just to see how this whole Rhode fuzzy bronzers panned out, I also saw another video of a customer complaining about their frustration on their launch order.
Maybe nobody cares, but it's June 18th and I still haven't gotten my June 9th placed Rhode order. Are you joking?
Personally, I do not think that 9 days is a long time. I just wouldn't be concerned if something didn't come in 9 days. Usually, I start to freak out after a month. Like, that is when I'm like, okay, this is taking a little too long. Like, this is not shipping from Asia, okay? I think people were just very excited about this launch, and 9 days felt like a lifetime maybe to them. And a lot of the comments had a very similar experience. Many people were in the same boat, and some people said that products were not even marked as shipped yet, so they were not sure what was going on. I think that this really could have been connected to the concern around the pocket bronzer. One of the comments said, "I got a Rhode email and was excited, but it was just a restock email. My June 9th order still hasn't shipped. It doesn't seem like they're shipping orders in the order they were received. I was in the checkout queue for over 40 minutes and still nothing. So between the mold allegations, the vague brand response, and the shipping frustrations, I feel like Rhode's reputation doesn't seem to be recovering very well, especially from their gritty lip balm era. Even though the situation was a hot mess, we did end up getting a reply from that same person we talked about earlier in the TikTok thread, and they said, "Final update. All of the TikTok detectives are right. It is wax bloom. Rhode finally got back to me. I cannot wait to start using the bronzer." And they were referencing the other comments on that same TikTok where people explained that it was wax bloom. Now at this point, I still was like, what do you mean? Rhode replied and said everything was all good for you to use. Like, what was the issue? Actually, they responded in the comments of this exact video saying, "We designed a pocket bronzer to be super creamy for smooth application. Sometimes when the formula is exposed to heat, then cools and settles, a bit of white residue may be left behind, often called a wax bloom. This is completely safe and doesn't affect your bronzer's performance. Just gently wipe off the top surface and continue using it in your routine." On top of that, they eventually addressed the shipment issues on their Instagram stories, saying,
"Summer update, we sincerely apologize for the delayed orders placed during our launch. Many of you have been waiting for your items longer than we communicated and longer than we had hoped to get them out to you. We fell short of our promise to get all orders placed on June 9th, shipped by Monday. We anticipated that we could process these remaining orders more quickly, but due to overwhelming volume, we missed the mark and we're incredibly sorry. As of today, we can confirm that every remaining order from launch will ship within the next 24 to 48 hours. All other orders placed between June 10th to 18th will ship by the end of the week. Please keep an eye out for your shipping confirmation email with tracking information and further email updates. Additionally, we're holding off on restocking sold out products to put our full focus on getting your packages out. We've also paused our social posts so our team can focus on collecting feedback and responding to our community. We'll resume our daily cadence once all of our packages are on the way to you."
And on top of that, Hailey Bieber did reply to this as well. Her statement said, "Doing our best to get this resolved as fast as possible. Disappointed in these delays, to say the least." Woo! You know what? I will say that I feel like that's all they could have really done to resolve the situation. I'm even more impressed that the brand told the social team to pause their content because they were getting complaints of people saying, "How could you be posting but then not shipping out our products?" Y'all, the social team has no control over you getting out your products. Their job is to literally post, interact, and also reply to your DMs. Now, if they're not replying to your DMs and your comments, that's a different story. But pausing the socials is a better look just so that they can work hard doing other things. But again, that's the social team's job. They're supposed to be posting. Now, honestly, I'm always pretty impressed with the way that Rhode responds to things fairly quickly. It did take them a few days, and I'm sure they had to look into it. Initially, with the first email, I'm guessing they were just like, just in case, don't use it yet until we look into what the issue is. And then once they've actually investigated if it's wax bloom or mold or white fuzzies, they told the customer that they can use the product, and I don't think that's a bad process at all. Also, as I looked more closely into the video, because it really does look like mold and white fuzzies, but if you really look, it's hard to tell in video, but you can tell that it's just hardened wax. So sometimes I feel like, I don't want to say we can be a little dramatic sometimes, we can be a little dramatic sometimes. The beauty community, we be doing the most. Now for me, I don't know if I'm gonna be buying the pocket bronzers. I'm not fully turned off by these customer complaints and concerns. I have their pocket blush and I like it, but I'm not a cream blush person, and Rhode is just not my style of makeup. I appreciate it. Maybe if I see it in person, I might change my mind, but honestly, Rhode's just really good at marketing and creating a vision. They might make something in the future that I really like. I will say, the highlights, though, is very intriguing to me. Very intriguing to me. If you have acne prone skin, let me know, because there might be some ingredients that are breakout prone. I know with the milky toner, a lot of people had issues with that. And if you ordered the Rhode pocket bronzer, what was your experience when it came to shipping or just the product itself? Do you love it? Do you hate it? But now we're gonna move on to something that on the surface looks just like another influencer brand launch, but it very quickly became something a lot bigger. And the internet's response was actually not what I expected at all. Leave it to the internet to surprise me. Olivia Jade launched a new brand called Elle. The first launch was a bronzing glow bomb for $44. Whoa, that's actually so expensive for a balm. And then for context, if you don't know who Olivia Jade is, she is actually an influencer who, before a very public scandal involving a college admissions bribery scheme at USC, definitely look that up if you don't know about it yet, but she had built a significant presence in the beauty and lifestyle space. And since the scandal has tried to make a comeback, and honestly is making a pretty decent comeback, she still has a lot of fans, and this launch seems to be just part of her revival. When she first posted about the balms, I will give credit where it's due. The finished product did look absolutely beautiful on her. It's giving clean girl, no makeup. Honestly, kind of looks like something Hailey Bieber would launch for Rhode, but in a different aesthetic. The comment section was also very divided from the start about the product. Some people loved it and some people felt like it did absolutely nothing. But then an influencer posted a video reviewing Elle. And if you don't know Gloria, she's an influencer known for holding brands accountable on inclusivity. You've likely come across one or two of her videos if you are in the beauty community, because she does call out brands for their poor shade range.
Olivia. Bronzer. This is the darkest shade of Olivia Jade's Elle bronzer. The website literally says, maintaining a natural skin-like finish across a range of skin tones. I think that's why this is bigger than the bronzer. Because if deep skin is included in the promise, then it should be fully considered in the performance. Because there's a difference between a product actually just showing up on dark skin and actually doing what it's intended to do, creating warmth, depth, dimension. And people with dark skin are constantly expected to just accept that gap. And a lot of these brands literally just want proximity to dark skin. They just want to say, hey, we're inclusive, just to appear inclusive visually, but not enough to fully center the people at the furthest end of the spectrum, which is just jobbing. This is why dark skin consumers notice that these new launches are not going to work almost immediately.
But Olivia's response only fueled Gloria's comment section even more. Actually, to be clear, this video coming up is not a response to Gloria's video. Basically, Olivia was already aware and had been given feedback from her fans about the shade range in her initial teasers. So her video was posted on May 11th and Gloria's video was posted on May 21st. So from what I know, I don't think Olivia has addressed Gloria's video directly, but she has talked about her plans with the shade range.
I almost forgot the most important question, which is shade range. So as I said, I'm the only investor and person involved in the company as of now. So I started with 3 shades. We have light, medium, dark, and should I show you? Yeah, I'll show you. I'm already working on expanding the shade range. So we have a more fair bronzer and a deeper bronzer because I do really feel like there needs to be a shade darker and a shade lighter. So I'm hoping launch goes well and then we can roll these out pretty quickly after. So I'll show you. We're working on shade deep right now, but I haven't really tested this at all yet. So this is very, very new. And honestly, if you guys want to test it with me, I feel like that's the most amazing thing about having this following and creating a brand is I really want you guys to be involved. So feel free to message me. I also will be working with a lot of models and makeup artists to perfect skin tone second time around. I'm trying to see if this would be best for fair skin. I've tested it on one person so far and it worked really well. Better than shade light in my opinion for their skin tone. So that's the shade range. But I will show you some swatches. So this is shade dark with this as the highlight. This is medium, stunning. Okay, and this is light, which is the shade I reach for. Sometimes when I'm self-tanned, I'll use medium or I'll mix the highlights. I use all 3 highlights to be honest.
A lot of people actually felt like they should give Olivia grace for being self-funded. The argument was that Olivia explained she's doing it all herself. She is a sole investor, building this from scratch with her own money and her own resources. At this point, we all know that a shade range and expanding a shade range costs money. It's really expensive for brands to have multiple shades of a product or multiple SKUs. And some people might think that launching 2 or 3 shades at a launch with a genuine commitment to expand is better than not launching at all, because as a business, you probably want to test the product before you put a lot of money into the product. But Gloria had a very different perspective.
Oh, but she's self-funded. Oh, just give her time to extend the shades. You guys know what other brand was fully self-funded and came out with this range of bronzers? Jordana Tisha. The reason people are comfortable with saying, oh, just wait later, because the people being excluded were never considered to be the default customer to begin with. Olivia Jade's core audience could already fully participate in this launch. Right now, they can buy the product, wear the product, and be fully seen by the product immediately. Meanwhile, darker skinned consumers and her dark-skinned audience are once again being asked to be patient, understanding, and grateful for a possible shade extension. When lighter shades are consistently treated as essential from day one, while deep dark skin is getting treated as something to account for later, once the brand grows, that reflects whose experience is instinctively prioritized first. And that is what whiteness, proximity to whiteness, and colorism look like structurally in beauty. It's simply whose inclusion is viewed as urgent and whose exclusion people are comfortable rationalizing.
Olivia might have broken the record for the least amount of shades at launch. 3 for a bronzer is kind of crazy, actually. What stood out to me in this video was that she said deep dark skin tone should not be an afterthought. That is kind of why I'm in agreement with Gloria, because at the end of the day, you know what you're getting yourself into when you're making a beauty brand, right? And if you don't, then should you be making a beauty brand? Part of beauty is being inclusive and making other people obviously feel beautiful with your products. That is part of the problem that you are solving, is making products for people to feel beautiful. That's why it's beauty. And we hear that excuse time and time again, that brands are waiting to extend maybe until the product becomes popular, but you're also not giving your product a chance to become popular if you're not including deeper skin tones. And there were other comments where people made a good point, like, it's okay if you want to start a beauty brand, but if you couldn't afford to be inclusive or make products for a range of skin tones, or you don't have the resources to do so, then come up with a different product that is more universal. But here's what I want to know from you. Do you think being self-funded changes your expectation of a brand? And does Gloria's response land the same way for you as it did for me? Or do you have a different perspective? I would love to know. Again, and keep it kind, keep it classy, but even if it's a different opinion, totally okay. After those 2 stories, I do think the next one might give you a little bit of a chuckle. A video went viral of Marc Jacobs going undercover at one of his own airport store locations. Ironically, he was also carrying a Birkin bag. I don't know why he wasn't carrying a Marc Jacobs bag, but maybe that's what he was going in there for. In the video, he's shopping with an associate who seemed to have absolutely no idea who he was, asking for support like a regular customer.
Hello. What are those little earrings there? Those little. Oh no! You know what? I think I like the necklace better. Oh, that's adorable. Okay, I'll take that. Let's see if we can go the whole way without her knowing who she's helping. Take your time. No rush. Oh, and there's the wave, the one that we showed on the runway. That I have one of those already. Not bad. Cute little selection for the airport. Nice to go unnoticed in your own shop.
What happened at the end was not what any of us expected, including Marc Jacobs.
Michael! I need my boarding pass. Now I need my wallet. Michael, I need my wallet.
After completing his purchase, he turned to the associate and said, "I'm Marc Jacobs. It's nice to meet you." Okay, that is not how he actually said it, but that's how it felt when I was watching this video. And the comment section did not hold back because people were having a ball with this video. Someone said, Marc Jacobs, created by Marc Jacobs, for Marc Jacobs, shopped by Marc Jacobs, goes unrecognized by his own employees. I'm crying. She did not care at all. I think this is my first time ever seeing Marc Jacobs, I wouldn't have recognized him either. Now, everyone had different reactions to this, but I personally thought this was just a silly, goofy idea, and honestly not a bad one at that. From my eyes, I don't feel like the associate was unbothered the way that other people saw it. I think that she smiled and she did seem kind of like in awe of Marc Jacobs, but also like some people are just awkward and like they don't know how to react. That is me. Sometimes I always joke around that if I were to see a celebrity in person, like I just would not recognize them. When it comes to faces, awareness of my surroundings, like I'm just like in my own little world. And if Marc Jacobs came up to me and was like, "I'm Marc Jacobs," I would be like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And it would not compute in my brain, especially at work. It takes a while to process things. It would not compute that you are the Marc Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? And to make matters even funnier, I also had no idea what Marc Jacobs looks like. And now we all know what Marc Jacobs looks like. So I don't know if this was intentional marketing. This is his face reveal to the world. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't actually hiding the way that he looks, but to me it felt like a face reveal and it worked on me. Did you actually know what Marc Jacobs looks like? Because it was a surprise to me. Now, for everyone who's watched last week's beauty critiques, I wanted to share some of the highlights from the launches we talked about, and I need you to stay with me until the very end on this one, because there was a launch I completely underestimated and didn't realize you guys were going to be interested in. Starting with L'Oreal, the Embellisher Balm, my first reaction was greasy. This looks like a greasy hot mess on my oily skin in the summer. You know how I feel about balms on oily skin. It's an obvious major no buy for me. Anything glowy and creamy will just melt off my face in the summer, but one of you did say the L'Oreal Tint Balm. Yes, I haven't put it down since I bought it. Amazing. I love that you love it. I just want to know what you love about it. If you have tried this out with oily or dry skin, let me know in the comments below. If y'all are going to review something, I need specifics, okay? Don't leave me hanging. Now, the Cushion Foundation has more of my interest. Someone said it survived India's hot and humid climate and didn't oxidize like the Tear Cushion Foundation, which is a very impressive claim because I personally love the Tear Foundation, but I know a lot of people hate the fact that it oxidizes. So if the L'Oreal formula is going to be the same as the one in the US, I think that would be pretty impressive, especially as a replacement for the Tear. Now, my only concern is that the formula in India might be different than the formula in the US, assuming that it's the same as the US. That sounds pretty promising to me. Let me know if any of you have tried the L'Oreal Cushion Foundation because I might buy it just for the sake of review. Now, as for the $98 Dior powder, I think we all arrived to the same conclusion on this one. My favorite comment on this video was actually, "No, I would not pay $98 for powder. I have dry skin and bills to pay." Girls say $98 is crazy. $98 could buy me like groceries. Okay, now let's get to last week's hottest product launch, the one that I didn't expect y'all to talk about, the Chapel Roan and MAC collection. I honestly thought it would generate some interest, but a lot of you were so excited about it in the comments. Someone said, "I ended up picking up the 2 lipsticks from the Viva Glam collection and I really love them. One of the only times I've ever bought a makeup product at launch." But that is the very first episode of After Critique. I would love to hear from you, so pick a topic from today and tell me where you land in the comments. What is your experience with the Rhode launch if you bought from it? Do you think that Olivia Jade should have waited to launch her brand until she could afford to have a larger shade range, or should she have launched a different product or not launched the brand at all? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And did you know what Marc Jacobs looked like before this viral video? And most importantly, I would also love your support in these beauty critiques and after critiques. Please send me an email or tag me on social media whenever you see a hot topic that you think is worth talking about. And of course, beauty critiques will be back in the next one where I talk about the newest launches. Thank you all so much for the continuous love and support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!